voice when she speaks. Is that worth changing your life forever? Buy this book at franktalks.com now.
Tonight we're talking about BDSM for beginners. Okay, a little kink for the vanilla couple. Vanilla meaning couples who don't engage in this, who kind of, do regular stuff. I'm not even sure how to describe vanilla anymore. But this is, we know that kink has gone mainstream, and some people are curious about just experimenting a little bit, being a little bit adventurous. We've got Frank B Kermit on the air once again with us from franktalks.com is his website. He's also a self-described bedroom coach. He'll be appearing on a television show on July 27th on Slice TV, a TV show entitled Newlywed Nearly Dead, where he actually coaches a couple in this area. So I figured, hey, he can coach us through all of this too. What's interesting, Frank, is that when people are interested, or they find out they may venture into this world, they'll do an internet search, right?
That's right.
And what are they going to come across if they do BDSM or kink?
They're usually going to come across some free videos of absolute extreme BDSM experiences. This is where somebody might be tied up so tightly that parts of their body start to turn purple because blood flow is not going on.
Oh, great.
They might be on the receiving end of a flogging or a paddling, such that their bodies will turn red and end up bruised. They might be experiencing some element of humiliation, where they're being called names or being told to do things that, essentially that they wouldn't normally be considered to want to do.
Sure.
And these things are very extreme. You have to remember that those type of videos are made for an audience that has already practiced BDSM for years.
Right.
And like anybody who is very skilled at any particular sexual fetish, sexual interest, the beginner stuff, the light paddling, it's akin to getting a massage. When you start going for massages regularly, maybe at the very beginning you want a very gentle massage, and once you get used to that, over the course of a number of years, you want the massage to get more and more intense.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
And the videos that you're watching on the internet are the absolute extreme. Their goal is not to educate. Their goal is to make money, whether it's through shock value or through enticing people with something that may look outrageous.
Right.
But the average person isn't interested in having that type of, sometimes skin-breaking, bleeding, extreme type fetishes.
Well, it scares people away, I think, even from the word itself. The acronym BDSM scares people because when they look that up, that's what they see.
That's right. And BDSM could be as simple as this. And here's something that vanilla couples, absolute beginners, can try to do, which is actually very fun, but doesn't have any of those scary elements. The next time that two people are together and one of them is performing oral sex on the other, the person who's on the receiving end of the oral sex is going to be told, okay, your hands have to hold on to the edge of the bed or at the head mass of the bed, and you're not allowed to let go no matter what. So the oral sex will happen. The person on the receiving end eventually will reach an orgasm, but when they reach an orgasm, no matter how good it feels, no matter what's happening, no matter how they're being stimulated, they may not release their hands from the bed. Their hands don't even have to be tied up or handcuffed.
Right.
They simply have to hold on. And because they were given that rule to follow it, because that boundary was set, that's where they're giving up a little bit of the control. So that right after the orgasm, the body's extra sensitive at that point. Perhaps you stimulate, it doesn't even have to be the genitalia. Perhaps you stimulate different parts of the body that keep the sensations going, but the person cannot release their hands from wherever they've been told to hold on to.
So basically it's pushing it to where you establish different boundaries for the sexual act, and you take turns establishing those boundaries, is what I'm getting from you.
Exactly. Now, there are people who will not want to switch. A switch is a person who will at times be a submissive and at times be dominant. They may do that with different people or within the same relationship.
Right.
There are people who don't want to switch. There are people who simply they don't get any enjoyment from being the submissive, or they don't get any enjoyment from being the dominant.
Right. And maybe we can describe a little bit what it means to be submissive, because it almost sounds like a dirty word.
Well, anytime you deal with sex, you're always going to have people that have issues with it, and any terminology you use is going to be considered a dirty word.
Right.
Words like penis and vagina for some people are considered bad words.
Yes, we say them all the time on this program, yes.
Oh, yeah. Now, here's how I define them. The person who is the dominant is responsible for everything that happens. The person who is the submissive, although they're on the receiving end of the actions, they're the ones in control. Whenever I have played BDSM with someone, I will usually start off by telling them, first of all, you are safe. You're not responsible for what's about to happen, but you're always in control.
I think that's really important.
Very important, because it lets the submissive know, the person who is going to have the actions done to them, that if ever something gets too intense for them, maybe they start feeling pain because they have to maintain a certain position for too long, they have the right to say, okay, stop.
Right.
At which point, they're in control. They're not responsible for what's happening to them in that moment, but they're always in control to say, stop, or go on, I want more.
Okay, and this is important, that these rules, this is what worries me a little bit when couples start to venture into this area, is they don't have all the rules, and I think it's really important. That's why I wanted to talk about it, is there are certain conditions you have to be aware of so that everybody's comfortable.
Exactly. You don't use BDSM as a means to say, well, now that I'm the one who's in control, or now I'm the one who's dominant, I'm going to do something that we didn't discuss just because I have the opportunity to get away with it. It doesn't work that way. And if that's the type of relationship you're in, once again,
Yikes.
This is a symptom of it, not the problem itself.
Right.
One of the other things that I advise couples is that when they play BDSM in the bedroom, they need to make sure that it only stays in that particular space. The person who is going to be the dominant in the bedroom doesn't necessarily going to be the person who has to be the dominant person at dinner in a restaurant.
Right. So you don't want, even though in the bedroom it's safe to boss the other one around, so to speak, outside of the bedroom, you're not going to continue that and start bossing your partner around just because it's fun in the bedroom.
Exactly. One of the things I recommend is a certain type of mood lighting. Maybe you plug in a couple of lava lamps. Maybe you turn on the regular lights and you turn on only red light bulbs. You turn on a certain type of music that you don't play at any other time. The idea is to create an environment where, within this environment, this is the way we're going to behave.
And that's okay.
And that's okay, but we don't take these behavior patterns into other areas of our lives.
Right. Coming up, I will ask you about BDSM clubs, because Montreal is full of them. There's quite a few of them, and kink parties, BDSM parties, scenes, role play, like all kinds of things going on here. So we'll talk about going to one of those and how safe that might feel for couples. That's coming up with my guest, Frank B Kermit. You can check out his website at franktalks.com as well if you've got questions about BDSM for beginners.
From Loser to Seducer is the story of Frank B. Kermit. This book marks the triumph of a nice guy over most of his inner demons. This includes going from being a loser to managing 5 lovers at the same time, his first Valentine's date with 2 women at the same time, and getting back the one that got away. Want to learn how you can change your life? Buy this book at franktalks.com.